Hey guys, what is going on? I am just now getting home. It is, I believe it's like 7:15 a.m. I just dropped my daughter off to school. My son is now, he's at school, so now I'm about to go upstairs, make me a cup of coffee, and see what's going on the price charts, but also start to record some new content for YouTube, but also finish recording some content for my module for my Trade on Purpose program. I don't know if y'all hear the ambulance, but I pray whoever that's for that they are okay. I always do that. I don't know why, but I always do that. I just want to make sure people are okay because you never know, it could be you in an accident. But that's what I'm about to get ready to do. So I'm gonna bring you guys along with me for my day and talk to you guys through two setups that came through. It was Euro New Zealand and then Pound New Zealand, and show you guys what those trades look like. They took profit. I think one is still running, so I'm gonna go through that with you guys. So let's go. So the brand of coffee that I like to drink is this caramel cappuccino, and I think I get this from Publix, if I'm not mistaken. It's either Publix or Lowe's. But I love this brand, and the reason why I love it is because I don't have to add any creamer. It's so good, it's so sweet. But I'm gonna have to stop drinking coffee soon and move over to more tea. And I love my tea. And I start sharing the teas that I drink. But I think what I want to do is move away from teas that come in the bags that you brew and start moving over to natural herb teas. I think those would be a little bit better. But for now, I'm going to finish this off and then I'm going to move over to my teas. But yep, this is the one that I drink. I have a Keurig and it looks like this. So this is how it looks. And you guys, this thing is so freaking good. So if you're a coffee lover and you're trying to get away from creamers, you guys, please try this. You will not be disappointed. Okay, so now I'm back at my desk and I'm going to show you guys a couple trade setups that I took. One was pound New Zealand, one was euro New Zealand dollar, and I'm going to show you guys two setups that I'm looking at. But before I do, let's have a quick conversation. So I get asked a lot, Shaquan, do you focus on time sessions? Do you focus on support and resistance and trend lines and what type of confluences and what time frames and all of these things? I'm probably going to put like a whole series of videos together for you guys to view, just to see the way that I trade and my mindset and how I think. But if you guys don't know, I've been in this market for 6 years. I've been teaching for 4 years. And I just realized that, and I wish someone would have told me this, was that you don't need to know everything in this market. I think when people hear that you're a coach, like a Forex coach, they think you know every indicator, you trade every type of structure there is, you know every candlestick pattern, you trade every double top and every double bottom. And to be honest with you, that's kind of exhausting. Like if you're a new trader or a struggling trader, do you hear how exhausting that just sounded? So what I had to learn to do was niche down or niche down, how they like to say it. And so no, I don't trade everything. I don't know everything. I know a lot. But what I learned was once you know a lot, get rid of a lot of stuff because some of the stuff can just get in your way. And so yeah, so I just stick to just a few things. I mostly trade higher time frames. I'm a swing trader. I hold my trades for more than 24 hours. So yeah, some of my trades they hit less within 24 hours. I'm gonna show you guys some of those setups. So let's go ahead and let's get over into the price charts. Okay, you guys, so let's talk about some analysis. Now we're gonna go over pound New Zealand dollar first. And I'm gonna show you guys a trade idea that I sent last night at 8:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys can see the time and the date, which is right here on pound New Zealand. And basically, I just said the title of this was a sell for pound New Zealand. Do you want to see? And basically sharing the idea, I saw that price was in a downtrend on a 4-hour time frame, 4-hour, making lower lows and lower highs. And one of my students actually pointed this out yesterday to me. And it was earlier that day, and I just came back with the analysis last night because an entry was actually coming up. And this is why having such a good community where you guys just share analysis together, but you're learning the same technique is very important. If you're in a trading community, maybe like a free Telegram or a free Facebook, or whatever the case may be, and everybody trades differently, no two people are trading the same or seeing the same thing, that can be a problem because it doesn't allow you to focus on the same things as other people, ask the question about the same technique. It's like school. When you learned a subject in social studies or in math or English or whatever the case may be, everyone was on the same lesson. And everyone was able to ask questions to the teacher and get answers based on that specific topic. In a trading community, you really want it to be the same way. You want everyone to evolve with the same system. It doesn't mean you're going to see everything alike, but it does mean that you get a better edge in the market because you got a community to back you up. And if you don't have that community who understands what you're trading, there's not too many questions in between, then you could be lost in the sauce, right? So when he pointed this out, I'm like, oh my God, I teach this technique. This is my technique. Let me go ahead and, follow up with where the entry can be. And so as you guys can see, this is where price is now. She's actually falling. She's reached take profit. So let's go over the analysis. One thing that I love doing when it comes to finding really good trade ideas is just trading the same strategy time after time, no matter the time frame. I can use this one technique on the monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour. The time frames will change, but the technique in my rule will stay the same. It's actually one of my best mottos. Time frames change, rules stay the same. You don't have to change anything just because you drop down in time frame or go up in time frames. For example, every single video, every single week, you guys hear me mention the same thing. Trend, structure, price. Trend, structure, price. The trend is down. Yes, got it. Got your market structure, which is right here. This is the first blue zone because I can erase this one now because that's for a futures trade setup now. So yes, price came and rejected off of my market structure. I have my targets. I use my fibs for my stop loss and I use my fib for my second entry. Now, I wasn't able to take two profits on here. Let me explain why the Fibonacci is so important. I can take the Fibonacci off really quick. This is why strategy is important. I can take the Fibonacci off and trade my same technique. The Fibonacci does not affect my entry. It has nothing to do with my entry. My estimation zone tells me where I'm going to enter. My take profit is always the same. In the downtrend, it's just my lower low. But if you guys notice, I don't have a one-to-one. This trade was 0.66. But see, when I added the Fibonacci on, now it's a little bit of a different story. So now I can move my trade down to my negative 27. Now I have a 1.11 risk to reward. I can take this trade because I'm going to make more than what I'm risking. And I don't get caught up and I have to have a 1-to-2. I have to have a 1-to-3. I have to have a 1-to-4. I can't control the condition of the market. And this is something else that I teach. This is a narrow trend, which means my entries are going to come quicker because there's not a lot of space within the pullback. This is what we call narrow trend. It's a narrow condition. Your trade comes quicker, but your take profit isn't as large or big as you would like it to be because these are minor pullbacks in the market. It's not a really big fluctuation. Once again, you have to understand it about trend. There's a broad trend where there are deeper pullbacks. It takes a while for it to reach where you want to enter, but you're going to get more pips out of the market. And then you have high volatility where the market can just run without really deep pullbacks or any pullbacks at all. And then you have low volatility where the market is consolidating, where you don't really have a lot of trades, it's confusion, and that's something you really want to stay away from, right? But when you pair this with what you do and what you know, especially with your trend, it makes it easy for you to trade in one direction. And that is the purpose of TMP in my coaching program, is teaching people how to trade in one direction. Find one entry point, one execution. Don't look for and or ifs unless it has to come into play and you'll understand it more. But you just need one entry, okay? It's just this zone is not, oh, if price breaks above, we buy. That's not what this is. Because the sellers are in control. Why would you buy against yourself? And it's a question that, you have to ask. And if you bought against yourself, would you have a good risk to reward? What would your take profit be? And so by fishing out, once again, all the things that you don't want to do to focus on what you do want to do in this market makes it easier to trade. Trading is simple. It's not easy. Even though the further along you get, your technique becomes more simple. Your technique becomes robotic. It becomes the same thing you do week in and week out. But the one thing you cannot control are the market movements. Let me sip my coffee really quick. Y'all, it's so good. It's so good. I'm gonna put a link down below. It's so good. Y'all gotta taste if you're a coffee drinker. So that was pound New Zealand. But let's get into Euro New Zealand. So I saw a similar setup this morning on Euro New Zealand, and I actually took this on a 1 hour. Here's the reason why. Once again, let's get back into the narrow condition, okay? And you guys can see that I am up plus 5 pips, but I've already taken profit on the first position. So when it comes to this particular position, I noticed here that yesterday, late last night, or you might as well say this the 4 hours, so 1 o'clock a.m., price made a lower low. Now, I wake up at 4:25 a.m. most of my weekdays. Probably Monday through Thursday, I wake up at 4:25 a.m. I'm an early bird because I have to pray and everything. And I came to my chart and I said, well, this is very narrow. Notice how when price pulls back, there's not a lot of space in between price can pull back. The last lower high on the 4 hour, and I'm going to erase the fib, is at 1.69109. So this is going to make me drop down in time frames. And now I'm going to add my 1 hour time frame so you guys can see what's going on the price chart. Okay. So on the price chart, I entered the first trade on this candlestick, and this candlestick closed at 5 o'clock a.m. Now, here's why I'm mentioning time. I am available to trade at 5 o'clock a.m. because I wake up at 4:25. I have a routine to spend some time with myself, and yeah, like that's just my routine. I'm not available before 5 a.m. I'm not available at 4. I'm not available at 3, 2, 1 a.m. I am sleeping. I'm catching my Z's, my beauty nap, or my beauty sleep. That's what I'm doing, right? But the reason why I talk about time availability is because I see a lot of people get caught up in time sessions. And here's the thing about time sessions. If you're not at your best and able to focus that morning or that night or when you come to trade, you may not have a really good trade setup. You may force positions thinking that just because you come to your chart, you have to place a trade. No, you don't. There may not be a time in that a trade in that time session. But if you focus on your availability and you focus on your setup when it's ready to be traded, then you can have a setup. I can't force price to give me an entry at 5 o'clock a.m., but I can set up I can put my strategy on this chart. I can plot my zones. I can plot my price note tools. I like to call it price tag tools or price tags. So that's what it looks like. I can plot those. So when it's time for me to enter, I just got to make myself available. It doesn't matter the time session. Okay. So that's why I like the way I teach and trade, because we don't focus on the sessions. We really do just focus on our availability. But anyway, so this candle closed at 5 o'clock a.m. It's a rejection candle, and it was retesting or rejecting off of my estimation zone. And I even have a 1 hour zone here as well. So when we talk about confluence, it's like double confluence, right? Because I have two areas that price could reject. I'm still looking for sales. I ended up entering, as you can see, my price level tools off of this candlestick, and the first risk to reward was a 1.1, and she's already taking profits. Awesome. And then the second take profit is still running the second trade is still running, as you guys can see, but I do have it to break even, as y'all can see right here on my price chart. So where I entered at, there's an orange line and a red line here on TradingView, and is letting you guys know that my trade is now at risk free, is at break even. I can't lose money on the trade. I've already made money in this position. So if it does go back down, great. My TP is going to be down here around 1.68031. If I'm taking out, I don't make money on the second position, but if I'm taking out, then I'm going to make 56 pips on this position. And my unit size is 25,353 or $2.05. That's it. Okay, so that's just on this position. I think the second position was around the same. So on this position, on this Owanda account, That's probably about $200 for the day on this one position. Mind you, I already made up on pound New Zealand as well. Okay, so yeah, that's a really good trade there. So even with that being said, let's go over to Euro Swiss, because there's something going on with this pair that I want you guys to focus on. We're going to focus on two Euro pairs here. So my student asked me the other day, he said, Shaquan, I'm looking at Euro Swiss and I see something. He said, I see that Euro Swiss on the weekly and on the daily are in the uptrend. See, Euro New Zealand just took me out of my position, but that's fine because I made money on the first one. I'm cool. This is a part of trading, you guys. When you can get a trade to break even, that's good because that means that you don't lose any money. When you can get a trade that's already taking profit, that is really good as well. Not to say you want to move your stops as quick as possible to break even, but if you can move it to break even, move it to break even to be done with the position and then move on. Okay, so anyway, so he said, Shaquan, on Euro Swiss, I see that price is an uptrend on the weekly and daily, but the monthly is showing me a different story. Can you explain this to me? Of course, I can explain it to you. But I'm also going to do this on TradingView as well. It's going to be a whole separate video, but I'm going to go ahead and do the quick analysis and rundown. So let's go to the monthly time frame first. On the monthly time frame, just in this area, I want you guys to notice how price had made a high up here at 1.11483 around this area. And then where we are now, I'm going to change this to purple so I know where it's from. And make sure it's on my time frames. There we go. And then what you guys are going to notice here is that price has a new low past this low over here. So this is a downtrend. And if price continues up, we're going to be in retracement stage, meaning price is going to be in pullback stage, going back up to the upside. But it's not a reversal on the monthly, it's a pullback. So on the weekly time frame, this might be a different story because it's the same story but looks different. On the weekly time frame, you guys can see that price made a new higher high at 106.11. This is the last high here. This was a lower high, lower low combination, but then price made a higher high, which is a weekly reversal. So this is how we get retracements in the market. There has to be a reversal, okay? So if price stays above 103.003, we could see price start to retrace back up towards the monthly high. And now if this is the case, if you wanted to enter the trade, we have our estimation zone. I love calling this an estimation zone because we're just estimating this is where price will come and give us a position where price could potentially push back up to 1.06118. If we wanted to use a fib, once again, fib is always last. It doesn't negate from your original technique. Yeah, price is rejected after 78.6, but using a Fibonacci, we're going to use this for our stop loss and our second take profit. It has nothing to do with the original setup. The original setup, let's just say price closes here today. Well, this is my personal take profit. It's going to be here back at the previous high. And I know where my stop loss is going to go for my fibs. It's just going to go 2 fibs lower for my stop loss. That's just how I use this, right? And then we're just going to, continue on and second take profits. It's a -27. And just keeping it that simple. But it doesn't affect the original technique. We're in the trade. We're only in the trade because we're putting the TMP technique together. The 3 yes system. Can we say yes to the uptrend? Potentially, yes. Especially if this becomes a higher low and price pushes up. Can we say yes that price is touching the zone? Yeah, price touching the zone. Can we say that yes, price is going to give us the candlestick to enter on? No, because we don't know how this candlestick is going to close today. Okay, so we need to see how this is going to close, and if it closes bullish, then yes, that can be a really good trade to enter to the upside, a really good swing trade. And I have to say, I have to keep mentioning that it's going to be a swing trade position. We're not day trading this. It's a full trade setup. And there becomes a difference in knowing when you have a swing trade and then when you have a day trade. Okay, so that's Euro Swiss. Last but not least, let's get into US 30. So US 30, I was hoping that yesterday US 30 could creep up a little bit more to give me an entry, but she never touched my structure. But she did go down and make a new low. Now we're in that pullback. If you watch my video from yesterday on YouTube, which I'm going to link this somewhere in the video, but if you watch this analysis, I talked about this pullback yesterday, how I'm looking for price to pull back into this zone. My estimation zone, once again, to stay below $34,404. We're almost there. If she pulls back and she gives us some sort of rejection, this will be a really good trade to enter today. This is something that I am highly interested in. Really quick, just like that, the analysis is done. Okay, take profit is going to be back down to the low here. Like, you don't have to complicate it. Notice how in most of my videos or most of my analysis, I don't go all the way to the left. I'm not looking for structure. I'm placing structure based on one candlestick. I'm not putting trend lines. I'm not using support and resistance. Like, I'm not using any of that. We're just using the flow of price action. And if it gives us an entry, it gives us an entry. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it stops us out, it stops us out. Because we're not in control of the market. We're only in control of your trading rules, okay? So that's that, you guys. That's the 4 pairs, well, the 2 trades I was in, and then 2 more setups that could be really good on the day. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I wish someone told me that I didn't have to trade everything I saw on YouTube or everything that Baby Pips mentioned, that I didn't need every indicator. I didn't need to know every candlestick pattern. I wish someone told me that, because now it makes it easier. And there's even this thing I say in my coaching program where I say I wish I had a me when I was coming up, because trading would have been a lot more easier. But if you've been struggling and you're looking at how I'm trading and how I'm breaking these things down, just imagine how I teach you how to break it down and see it a lot easier. And if you're learning and you're wanting a community, as you guys can see, I share my trade ideas. I have a community in TradingView. I do have a coaching program with videos. I teach twice a week. You can live trade with me on Tuesday and Thursday nights. If this is something that you're looking for, someone to hold your hand and guide you on a chart, and you have a community where you all trade the same technique, everyone's not trading something different, then I invite you into my coaching program, Trade on Purpose. If this is for you and you're wanting to know how to make an additional stream of income and even become a funded trader, yes, I can help you become a funded trader using my technique. Make sure you guys click the link below to join the Trade on Purpose coaching program. It's $187 a month, or you can decide to work with me one-on-one. It's totally up to you. You don't have to struggle when you have the help. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and a little bit behind the scenes of my life, just a small scotch. Remember that coffee you guys can get, I'll put the link down below, and I will talk to you guys in another video. You guys go be blessed.